Welcome back to Radio Shack. We're back with more Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this is the Halloween arc, aka Monsters vs. Mutants. And I gotta say, these were some fun episodes. I'll say that for the most part. But we get into the first episode, The Curse of Savanti Romero, and I love how we start off this episode with Casey and April actually going trick-or-treating, because we haven't seen Casey and April for a long time. We haven't seen them since the When Worlds Collide special, and that was back in June. But it's great seeing them, and I actually get to see April. Her costume, I think, is a Robert De Niro costume from Taxi Driver, I think, if some people know what that is. But as I said, they're trick-or-treating, and we notice that something is kind of amiss. Something's kind of wrong here. And they check on one of the New Yorkers, and as he looks up, we see that he has these glowing blue eyes, and they're actually swarmed and attacked, and eventually Casey gets bitten by one of them. While all that's going on, we go back to the lair, and we see the Turtles are watching Space Heroes Next Generation, and they're trying to figure out exactly what they want to be for Halloween, because it's the one time a year they actually get to go out without freaking out the New Yorkers or them being scared. And there is this one funny moment where Donnie's trying to figure out exactly what he wants to be for Halloween. He names like Albert Einstein and all that. But one of the things he says is Smooth Donatello. Now, for those who actually know what that meant, that is actually a reference to Andre the Black Nerd comedy. And he does turtle recaps too. And one of the things he always says anytime there's an episode where Donnie hits on April, he says, Smooth Donatello. And that's a great reference to him, and it's actually put it in this episode. I thought that was pretty fun, and it's amazing that they actually put that in there. So congratulations, Andre. That's awesome, great news. So give me some. Bow. But April calls the Turtles and tells them that something's wrong. Casey was actually bitten by one of these people, and town is being overrun by monsters. They try to go help, but eventually April gets bitten herself, and then they're surrounded. But luckily for them, Renette shows up. Yes, Renette is back and saves them and actually tells them what's going on and why this is happening. This is all because of Savanti. Remember, the guy that they beat back in season 3, and he's gone back in time to recruit all these monsters so he can, take over the world. And they have to go back in time to where he first started recruiting all these monsters, to stop him from doing all this and stop this all from happening. I know, I hate time travel. But they travel back in time to the 5th century in Egypt, where they go into the Pharaoh's tomb, and they see these hieroglyphics, and they're able to decipher them with Donnie's translator, and they discover this curse where it's like those who walk through this tomb, the living die as the dead rise, I believe. And they run in all these booby traps. They even face all these mummies, which is pretty fun, and they nearly escape. But they're able to walk into the Pharaoh's coffin room, and they notice that they made it there before Savanti did, but they pretty much did the work for him, because that unleashed the curse, and the Pharaoh actually wakes up. But we get this awesome fight between them, and they try to put the Pharaoh back into his coffin, but that doesn't necessarily work, and Savanti and the Pharaoh get away, traveling to another time period, and they have to follow them, which they land into Transylvania, which leads into the next episode, the Crypt of Dracula. And this episode was also pretty fun. They figure out that they need to disguise themselves, to blend in, and Renette actually disguises them as monster hunters, kind of like Van Helsing. And everyone gets a weapon except for Raphael, which I didn't like, but I can see exactly why, because they're eventually attacked by a werewolf and these wolves, and Raph is getting chased, but they're able to defend themselves off, except for Raph, who is still being chased, and he sees this figure in the distance that just like turns into bats, and he notices that he's not being chased anymore. The guys find Raph, and they notice that he is passed out, he's not feeling well, so that's not good. And as they travel to Dracula's castle, they notice this carriage pulls up and tries to warn them for being out, with all these monsters roaming around, and they should turn into another direction. And Raph actually goes along with it. He sounds like he's kind of in a trance or something. But as they travel, they run into these gypsies, Volko and his daughter Esmeralda, and they tend to Raph because you know that he's not feeling too well. And as they travel, they're eventually attacked by the Headless Horseman. Yes, the Headless Horseman. And they notice that Raph has been bit, and they say that he won't go full vampire unless he actually bites someone. So that's good. While all that's going on, we see Savanti's actually recruiting Dracula and forcing him to do his bidding. As the Turtles are attacked by the Headless Horseman, the carriage is turned over, and we notice that Volko is missing. As they arrive to the castle, they are then attacked again by the werewolf, but they're able to use Renette's time currency bag to produce a piece of silver, and Mikey launches it down the werewolf's throat, and it turns back into human form, and we notice that it is Volko. But Esmeralda is captured by Dracula, and they have to try to fend him off. Leonardo tries to shoot Dracula with a stake, but Raph catches it in his mouth, and we see that Raph is under the control of Dracula. They have to follow him in there, and we notice that it is a trap. And we get this funny scene with Mikey and Raph, where Raph is trying to bite Mikey and all that. And another thing, Donnie's weapon is a staff of protection, but it's not working because he does not believe. But he eventually gets it to work against Dracula. And we also get this other scene where the mummy actually finds Volko and his daughter and jams his arm down his throat. Like, we're really doing this. It just... But he reaches down his throat and actually pulls out the piece of silver, turning him back into a werewolf. Savanti's army is nearly complete as they escape and travel back to another time period. The Turtles have to follow them back, even though the time staff is getting very low on power and it only has one more time jump. But they're able to go back, and they land right smack dab right in front of Frankenstein's castle. So, like I said, these episodes were pretty fun. I thought Donnie was hilarious in these moments, but yeah, they were pretty fun, even though I'm still a little bit upset that they showed the finale before these episodes, but whatever. What you think of these episodes? Comment below, let me know what your favorite parts were, and let's get a conversation going. And as always, if you enjoyed my thoughts, make sure you like and subscribe. We got more episodes coming this week. My last video will be in the description down below, and until my next video, I will see you later.